Hello, my name is Charles Webster Baer, and today is April 11, 2021, and I am in Terrebonne, Oregon, USA, and my website is globalinternetgovernment.com. And today I want to talk about 4 things. Number 1, depopulationism. Number 2, gig. And gig is global internet government. Number 3, fog bank. And number 4, the capital. So, let's start with topic number 1, depopulationism. Depopulationism is a word with many syllables. I don't know who invented the word. If it was me, good for me. If it was somebody else, good for them. I've been a depopulationist for my entire life. And the word depopulationism has many, many different meanings. But in my opinion, the meaning of the word depopulationism has always been the traditional classic Chinese interpretation of the 1980s, which is the one woman, one child policy. So in the 1980s, the Chinese created depopulationism by making it illegal for anyone to reproduce a second time. And I decided in 1985, as a teenager in high school, that this was such a fantastic idea that I was going to spend my life trying to make sure that I was able to convince my species to adopt this policy and thus not kill the planet Earth. And I have met with varying degrees of success. So what depopulationists are trying to accomplish is a significant and immediate and sustained decline in the number of humans on planet Earth. And the reason we're trying to achieve this goal is because then the number of people on the planet Earth can arrive at a sustainable level. And that is a number for future generations to determine. But I'm going to go ahead and guess it's around 2 or 3 billion people. This will give the environment an opportunity to heal. And this will give trees an opportunity to grow back and increase in number. And then in the future, when people want to breathe oxygen, they'll be able to do that because there'll be enough trees on the planet to create enough oxygen for people to breathe. And then everybody won't suffocate to death. And that's a good thing. So right now there's over 7 billion people on the planet, and that number is increasing. I think there are too many people on the planet, which means I think that number should be decreasing. Depopulationists think that if the number is increasing to 8 billion and 9 billion, then we're on a suicide course. We're going to kill the planet and we're going to die with it. So we want to go in the right direction, which is down, which is decreasing, and play it safe. Because humans don't have the right to kill the planet, and humans don't have the right to threaten the planet. We don't have the right to destroy the environment, and we don't have the right to put the environment at risk. But that's what we're doing because we're stupid, and that's wrong. And we need to start getting smarter and start doing the right thing. And that's what depopulationists think. It's not very complicated. It's actually very simple. You need to ask yourself, are there enough people on the planet? And you'll probably eventually come to the conclusion that, yeah, there are enough people on the planet. And what that means is that you don't need to make any more people. And there might even be too many people on the planet, which means that you shouldn't make any more people. In fact, all of us alive today will always live on a planet that's overpopulated. It'll be centuries before we arrive at a sustainable level of people on the planet. And that's the best possible scenario. The worst possible scenario is that we've already passed the point of no return, and no matter what we do, we're toast. So that's depopulationism. Depopulationism is smart people trying to save the planet. And we're outnumbered by stupid people. So it's an uphill road. But we won't quit or give up. Depopulationism is the only fair and rational way to save the planet. Depopulationism is like the religion for this millennium. So the intelligent people are depopulationists, and the stupid people are not. So the depopulationists need to educate the stupid people and convince them not to reproduce and not to kill the planet. And if we have any time to do that, it's not much time. And that's depopulationism. So if you are a depopulationist, you need to get loud about it. If you are a depopulationist, you need to vote for candidates that are depopulationist. And you need to run for political office as a depopulationist. And you need to tell your friends and family that you're a depopulationist. And you need to try to recruit your friends and family to become depopulationists. Depopulationists feel it's illegal and immoral for anybody to reproduce a second time on planet Earth in this millennium. So, depopulationism is the goal. Depopulationism is what we're trying to achieve. Depopulationism is how to save the planet Earth. So depopulationism is what we want to do. And that's why we're depopulationists. A depopulationism is the latest development in the evolution of both the individual human being and of the nation. And of the world. As civilization evolves and improves and becomes better, it becomes a depopulationist civilization, a depopulationist society. As the individual human being improves and evolves and becomes a better person and a more intelligent person, they become a depopulationist. As the world improves and evolves and becomes better, it becomes a depopulationist world. As country X improves and evolves and gets better and moves forward, it turns into a depopulationist country. People are always improving and getting better. Countries are always improving and getting better. And this latest, newest, best improvement and evolution in people and in countries is depopulationism. If I tried to explain this to animals, they wouldn't quite be able to grasp the concept because they can't talk in English very much. But if I tried to explain this concept to human beings, then some of them might be able to grasp this concept. Because in theory, we're more intelligent than animals. I know in China, they get it, because in China, they're smart. Unfortunately, I'm in America, where people aren't that smart. In fact, they're downright fucking stupid. But that's okay. I can work with stupid. It's difficult, slow, but I can work with stupid. And I do. I do work with stupid. It's hard work. But I think we're moving along slowly in the right direction, I guess. So that might be a good thing. So that's depopulationism. Depopulationism. Depopulationism is people saving the planet by reducing the number of people on the planet by not reproducing a second time. Depopulationism is making it illegal for any human being on planet Earth in this century to reproduce a second time worldwide. That's depopulationism. And if we're able to pull this off in time, that's a good thing. If we're not, then we're not going to make it as a species to the next millennium. So depopulationism is the goal we need to achieve to survive. If humans are smart enough to survive on this planet, and that's a big question mark, then we're going to need to prove it with depopulationism right now. We're going to need to make the entire planet a depopulationist planet, which means we're going to need to make the entire planet a planet where it's illegal to reproduce a second time for human beings in this century. So that's depopulationism, and depopulationism is the goal. That's the goal that we need to achieve. So how do we achieve that goal? How do we achieve depopulationism? how do we make that happen real quick, worldwide? Well, we need a plan to achieve the goal. The goal is depopulationism. We need a plan to achieve that goal. The destination is depopulationism. We need to find out which road goes to that destination. That's topic number 2, GIG, global internet government. Topic number 1 is depopulationism. That's what we need to do. That's the goal. Topic number 2 is GIG. That's the plan to achieve the goal. Topic number 1 is GIG. That's where we need to go. Topic number 1 is depopulationism. That's our destination that we need to arrive at. Topic number 2 is GIG. That's the road that we travel to get to our destination. Okay, so number 1 is depopulationism. That's what we got to do. Number 2 is GIG. That's how we're going to do it. So topic number 1 is depopulationism, which is what people have to accomplish now. And topic number 2 is GIG, which is how we're going to accomplish it now. So I already talked about topic number 1, depopulationism. Now I'm going to talk about topic number 2, which is GIG, global internet government, which is how we're going to achieve depopulationism. Now, GIG is globalinternetgovernment.com, and it's a world government. And I created it in the spring of 2000 in Portland, Oregon. GIG is the world government, and it's going to promote the concept of depopulationism. Now, I've been talking about depopulationism for 36 years, so I've gotten pretty good at it. And I've been talking about GIG for 21 years, so I've gotten pretty good at it. And you listen to me talk about depopulationism. Thank you very much. Now, I hope you listen to me talk about GIG. GIG is the world government of planet Earth. It is. And it's a good world government. GIG is going to unite the human race politically and economically. GIG is a social media platform and a news outlet. GIG is going to provide a foundation for all people to participate in and contribute to the world government. GIG is going to unite the world politically and economically. GIG is going to unite the world politically with democracy and freedom and equality and reproductive rights. And reproductive rights means that all people have the right to total and free access to all forms of birth control, including abortion and birth control education. Any government that does not completely support this 100% is an illegitimate government. Illegitimate governments will be replaced quickly and peacefully by global internet government. GIG is going to unite the planet financially and economically with balanced budget amendments, transparency, trade agreements, regional currencies, and GIG is going to monitor every financial transaction by every government on the planet Earth. Every financial transaction by every government on the planet Earth is going to be monitored publicly online by global internet government. That way, everybody everywhere can always go online and see exactly where all the money is, where it's going, how it got there, who got it, who they gave it to, when they gave it to them, how much they gave it to them, etc., etc., etc. Total transparency for all governments on the planet Earth now. So that's GIG. GIG's going to unite the planet politically and economically, and that's how GIG's going to do it. Yeah. So in 1985, I saw the Chinese were doing depopulationism, and I was like, that's great. I'm going to improve it and make it available to everybody. In the year 2000, I saw how the European Union, the EU, was a growing international government that was expanding. And I said, that's great. I'm going to improve it. I'm going to make it available to everybody. Boom, GIG. There you go. So just like the EU, any country, well, in the EU, only Eastern European countries can become part of GIG. In the EU, only Eastern European countries can become part of the EU if they follow the instructions and agree to the terms. Well, with GIG, any country in the world can become part of GIG if they follow the instructions and they agree to the terms. The terms are, number one, most importantly, is depopulationism. You have to agree that it's illegal for anybody in your country to reproduce a second time, period. That's number one. Number two is you have to have below 3% inflation annually. Every year your inflation has to be below 3%. And that has to be rock solid. Depopulation has to be rock solid. Inflation has to be rock solid. Low inflation. And number three is you have to have total freedom of the press and total freedom of speech. And that means GIG's available to everybody. You know, and there's a lot of wiggle room for communist countries and dictatorships and stuff like that. A lot of wiggle room. And I'm running the show, so I'll say what goes and what doesn't go. But GIG's going to unify the planet. And when the planet's unified under depopulationism, then we can start moving in the correct direction as a species. Because in the last millennium, we fought wars to settle our differences. But we've become more civilized in this millennium, and we'll settle our differences peacefully with freedom of speech and democracy. So that's GIG. So depopulationism is the goal, and GIG is the plan to achieve that goal. And so now we go to topic number 3, fog bank. Okay. Topic number 1 was depopulationism, what we have to do to survive. Topic number 2 was GIG, how we're going to do it. And topic number 3 is fog bank. Fog bank is my cyber currency that I created in 2019. let's talk about FogBank, because I really dig it. I'm really excited about it. And I really think it's super groovy. So let's talk about FogBank. FogBank is my cyber currency. And it's got a unit of currency. And the unit of currency of FogBank is called the FogBuck. F-O-G-B-U-K. Plural is FogBucks. F-O-G-B-U-X. And anybody anywhere can buy as many FogBucks as they want for 1 penny each. So anybody anywhere can buy as many FogBucks as they want for 1 cent each. Now the value of a FogBuck is 0. Now that can't decrease. It can't get smaller than 0, but it can and hopefully will increase. And that's the nature of currency, especially cyber currency, is the value fluctuates. So right now, a FogBuck is worth 0. It has no value. But hopefully, in the future, as more people buy more FogBucks, the value of a FogBuck will increase. And then it will go up and down and fluctuate. There's also something called a FogBic. F-O-G-B-I-K. Plural F-O-G-B-I-X. Now, the value of a FogBic and the value of a FogBuck is always the same. The value of a FogBuck and the value of a FogBic will always be identical. Always. Now, a FogBuck is something that an individual purchases from FogBank. And they'll have that FogBuck as long as they want until they give it away or spend it or die. Now, FogBic is something that is given to somebody by FogBank. And FogBank's going to give everybody on the planet 10,000 FogBics right now. Boom. You're welcome. Now, if you got a FogBuck, it's yours forever until you get rid of it or spend it. If you got a FogBic, you've got it until you get rid of it or spend it, or until FogBank takes it away from you, because FogBank reserves the right to suspend and or terminate any FogBic at any time for any reason, including no reason at all. That's how FogBank rolls. Gangster style. Now, every FogBuck has a unique individual FogBuck number, and every FogBic has a unique individual FogBic number, and every FogBank user has a unique individual FogBank user number, and every FogBank transaction has a unique individual FogBank transaction number. All this shit's completely transparent, 100%. And anybody can go anywhere at any time and see where all the currency's at and the entire history of the currency. Even currency that gets deleted, the history of that currency will still be available. So every unit of currency, including units of currency that no longer exist, will be completely available to everybody. So everybody can always see where all the money is and where it came from and who got it and everything. 100% transparent. Clean. There's also a ceiling and a floor. If somebody has $1 trillion American dollars worth of fog bucks and they want to buy more, they can't buy any more. That's the ceiling. If somebody has less than 10 fog bics, they'll receive 10 more fog bics every week that they have less than 10 fog bics. That's the floor. So there's a limit on how much money people can have, and there's a limit on, and the people can't be completely broke. So instead of there being an infinite gap between the rich and poor, there's now a finite gap between the rich and poor that's going to shrink. We're going to lower the ceiling and we're going to raise the floor. Slowly, as circumstances warrant. So, Fog Bank is a cyber currency. Eventually, Fog Bank will become the cyber currency. And eventually, Fog Bank will become the currency. And eventually, Fog Bank will become the only currency. In other words, Fog Bank is so awesome that it's going to eat all the other currencies on the planet. People will be able to continue to use other currencies. They just will decide not to because they're stupid. And Fog Bank is good, and other currencies suck. So people will still be able to use dirty currencies. They just won't because they don't want to. People will still be able to use secret currencies, but they won't because they don't want to. Fog Bank will slurp up all the money in the universe. And that's Fog Bank. I own Fog Bank. I invented Fog Bank. I'm the founder of Fog Bank. I own 100% of Fog Bank. I always will own 100% of Fog Bank. I'm the owner, founder, and president of Gig. I own all of Gig. I always will own all of Gig. Unfortunately, there will come a day when I will go bye-bye. That'll be a good day for everybody, especially me. And I'm sure we all look forward to that day. The day after that day, Gig and Fog Bank will merge into one thing and become an international nonprofit organization. Okay? Gig, I own it, I run it. It's Fog Bank, I own it, I run it. They're two totally separate things. There's no relationship between the two other than me. So I own all of Gig, I always will. I run Gig completely, I always will. I own all of Fog Bank, I always will. I run Fog Bank completely, I always will. They're totally separate, totally different, two totally different companies. They have no relationship to each other, except for me. And then one day I'm going to die or retire. And then the day after that happens, Fog Bank and Gig will merge into one thing. And it'll be an international nonprofit organization. And what I'm calling that thing is topic number 4, the capital. One word. The capital. One word. It's one word. The capital. It sounds like 2 words, but it's actually one word. And there's no capital letters. Okay? I don't believe in capital letters. I only use lowercase letters. Capital letters are stupid. They're outdated. I don't use them because they're dumb. So, the capital is one word. It sounds like 2 words, I know, but it's only one word. There's no space in between the and the capital, and there's no capital letters. So, the capital is what's going to happen when Gig and Fog Bank merge into one thing. It's going to be called the capital. And it's going to happen after I die or after I retire. And it's going to be an international nonprofit. Which means the whole planet's going to own it. You know, like the people of Green Bay, Wisconsin own the Packers, the whole planet's going to own the capital. The community is going to own it. But who's going to run it? The assembly's going to run it. Well, what's the assembly? Well, the assembly is modeled after the United States House of Representatives. So the assembly is going to be a bunch of representatives, and every nation gets one representative, and every nation gets one representative for every 10 million people. So America would have 34 representatives, China would have 140 representatives, England would have 6 representatives. And this would be the assembly would be a bunch of House of Representatives, which would be Democratic, and they would pass legislation, and it would be majority rule. And while I'm alive, or before I retire, this assembly will pass legislation, and it'll merely be advice to me, which I will ignore. However, when I'm gone, this legislation will pass legislation. This legislature will pass legislation, and it will be law. They'll be running the show when I'm gone. And it's democratically elected. So the people of Country X vote for the representatives of Country X, however many representatives there are. And if they're not able to do that, then I will appoint the representatives for that country. Okay, I'm assembling the legislature next year in 2022. And the assembly, the representatives will be elected every 5 years, starting in 2025. So the representatives to the assembly will be elected by the people of their country every 5 years, starting in 2025. And if the people of that country are not able to elect their representatives, then I will appoint those representatives myself. And those representatives will be working for Gig, and they will be swearing an oath to Gig, and they will be agreeing with everything Gig has to say. Otherwise, they will not be eligible to run for the assembly. Okay, if somebody does not agree and support global internet government, then they will not be allowed to run for a representative position in the assembly. And if a country is not able to vote for their assembly people, the assembly people will be appointed by me personally. So every country will have representatives equal to their population, but those representatives will support gig 100%. And those representatives will exist whether the people are allowed to vote for them or not. And that's the capital. And that was topic number 4, the capital. So topic number 1 was depopulationism, and that's what we have to do as a species to survive. Topic number 2 was gig, and that's how we're going to achieve the goal of depopulationism. Topic number 3 was FogBank, which is my cyber currency, which I just threw in there because I like it a lot. And it's really far out. And topic number 4 was the capital, which is what's going to happen to gig and FogBank after I say adios, amigos. So we don't really have a topic number 5. We don't really have anything else to say. We don't really have anything else to talk about. But I want to make a video that's over an hour, and I've already done that, but I want to do it again. So I'm going to babble on for another 15 minutes or so, just so I can go over the hour mark, because I like to do that. I like to do it. Maybe one day I'll go over the 2-hour mark, you know. And maybe one day I'll make a video that's over 2 hours. That'd be awesome. That'd be great. Probably not going to happen this year, but that's okay. But I have made videos for over an hour, which is awesome. And I'm very happy about that. And I think this is going to be one of those videos too. So I'm just going to ramble on here about irrelevant bullshit like me. My favorite topic to discuss, me. The most interesting topic I know of, me. The most fascinating subject anybody can contemplate. Me. I am Charles Webster Baer. It's true, I am. And I'm 52 years old. And I've never been married, and I don't have any kids. And I'm straight, and I'm single. I was born and raised in Santa Cruz, California, and I went to high school in Newport, Rhode Island. And in 1994, I graduated from the University of Hawaii at Hilo on the Big Island. And then I moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico. And then in 1999, I moved to Portland, Oregon. And in the year 2000, I created Global Internet Government. And then in 2007, I moved to Bend, Oregon. And then in 2014, I moved to China for 3 years and became a spy for the Chinese government. And I'm still a spy for the Chinese government. But don't tell anybody, because that's top secret information. And then in 2017, I came back to America to spy on America, which I'm still doing. And then in 2019, I created Fog Bank, and I moved to Redmond, Oregon. And next year, I'm going to run for mayor of Redmond, Oregon again as a depopulationist and as a libertarian. And in 24 and 28, I'm going to run for the president of the United States of America again as a depopulationist and a libertarian. So you know what a depopulationist is. So let's talk about what a libertarian is. A libertarian is somebody who is fiscally conservative and socially liberal. So if it has to do with money, I'm Republican, and if it doesn't have to do with money, I'm Democrat. So a libertarian, like myself, believes in more freedom and less government. So please vote for me, Charles Webster Baer. Thank you very much. And that's me. That's who I am. I could talk more about myself, and I will, as I continue to campaign. I'm always having some kind of political campaign, and I probably always will be having some kind of political campaign. But that's me. That's who I am. And now that I'm an old person, I'm much more relaxed, and I'm much more polite, and I like being an old person. I'm much more positive, optimistic, calm, mellow. Things are better being old. Being old, it's the best. Being an old person is just great. I love it. Love it. So I'm just going to continue to, try to push depopulationism forward, try to push gig forward, try to push Fog Bank forward, try to push the Capitol forward, try to push my political campaign forward, and that's what I'm doing. And I am an atheist, I am an agnostic, and I'm a Buddhist. And Buddha said, if the universe exists, that's good. And if the universe doesn't exist, that's good too. And if the universe exists, then you're part of the universe, and that's good. And if the universe doesn't exist, then you're not part of the universe, and that's good. So if you're part of the universe, that's good. If you're not part of the universe, that's good. So if you're part of the universe, that's good. If you're not part of the universe, well, what the hell are you? Well, you're the soul. So Buddha created the soul, and that information moved east to China, where they understood it and created Buddhism, and that information moved west to Jerusalem, where they didn't understand it and they misinterpreted it and called it Christianity, And then they misinterpreted it again a second time and called it Islam. So I'm an atheist because I don't believe in God. I'm agnostic because I think everybody's an agnostic, which means you don't really know or care if there's a God. And then I'm a Buddhist because I think Buddhism is a philosophy, not a religion, and I think it's the correct philosophy. So that's me. That's who I am. And we've got another 4 minutes to go before this is an hour-long video. So I'll just recap. My name is Charles Webster Baer. Today is April 11, 2021. My website is globalinternetgovernment.com. And I am in Terrebonne, Oregon, USA, Earth. And I'll talk about where I am right now. I'm in the Crooked River Caldera, which is a 20-million-year-old volcanic crater that was created by the Yellowstone hotspot 20 million years ago, when the Yellowstone hotspot was actually in Northern California. And this is all volcanic ash called welded tuff, which is like concrete. And it's a really cool spot, man. I mean, I dig it. I dig this place. Let's take a look at it. That's Misery Ridge. So if you come here, you go up Misery Ridge, and that's it. And then this is all part of the rim of the caldera, which is huge. And we got another 2 minutes. Usually during this part of the video, I talk about the history of the universe. But I'm sick of doing that. So fucking boring. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. Please make your own video. Please make your own video where you discuss these topics. And please make your own video where you talk about these things in your own words and how you feel about these subjects. And please make a video where you talk about how you're a depopulationist and why, and how you're running for office and why, and how people should vote for you because, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And please get politically active. And please, you know, save the planet and get, you know, environmentally aware. And please become engaged. And please become involved in the political process. And please get online and get noisy about it. And, you know, save the planet. Do it. Do it for yourself, you know. Do it for yourself. You owe it to yourself to become part of the solution. You owe it to yourself to do the right thing, you know. So get off your ass, nerd, and get in the mix, because that's where it's all going down. All right, this is Charles saying adios. See you later. Peace and goodbye.